Hello, everybody. Welcome to a tropical update. Here's the wide read Atlantic right now. We got a fairly active Atlantic here, at least for November terms right now. We of course got tropical storm ETA ongoing in the southern Gulf of Mexico. Looks like it's starting to undergo its intensification trend here, like it was forecast to in the Gulf of Mexico. Still a really uncertain forecast here in terms of intensity and forecast track here. I'll talk more about that a little bit here. We also got an area of interest that may develop over the next few days here in the Central Caribbean, and that has a moderate chance of formation. It's sort of something to look out for here. We also got newly formed subtropical storm Theta in the upper Atlantic, and it's really insane how this is happening because with the formation of this storm, 2020 is now the most active Atlantic hurricane season on record here in terms of named tropical cyclones. Really incredible to see this, and keep in mind we're pretty much barely in mid-November at this point. We still got till November 30th here for the official end of this hurricane season. However, it's not impossible for storms to form outside of that date. We've seen some storms happen in December here in past seasons, like in 2005 and other active hurricane seasons here. So I wouldn't rule out the potential for perhaps a odd tropical cyclone trying to develop in December here this hurricane season. But it's just really incredible to I'm just kind of awestruck here. It's just really incredible to see that now we're at the name Theta, and of course with the formation of this name here in this storm, we broke 2005's record in terms of total number of tropical storm strength systems or higher in a hurricane season. Here's a look at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center. Of course, we got ETA, and then we got Theta, and the disturbance number 2 here. Formation chance for the next 48 hours is a near 0% chance because it hasn't formed quite yet. Formation chance for the next 5 days, however, is a medium 50% chance, as you can see here, and may try to form here in the Central Caribbean here. So there's something again to watch later on down the line once it starts to get actually going here and we get a developed center of circulation going with it. Here's a look at the latest forecast cone for Tropical Storm ETA right now. Currently located at 23.2 degrees north, 85.2 degrees west. Again, 23.2 degrees north, 85.2 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 50 miles per hour. Moving southwest at 9 miles per hour at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time at Reggie 39. And the National Hurricane Center do forecast the storm to peak as a 70-mile-per-hour high-end tropical storm now instead of a Cat 1 hurricane. That could change here. It depends really on how long or how fast the storm decides to intensify here, seeing a new burst of convection over at the center of circulation here. So they may have to change the intensity forecast perhaps here if the current appearance for the storm holds. We'll see about that, but regardless, right now, the National Hurricane Center estimating that the storm has a maximum sustained 1-minute winds of 50 miles per hour here. And of course, there's also tropical storm watches in effect for still the Isle of Youth, Cuba, and most of western Cuba by the looks of it there. Here's the key messages from the National Hurricane Center for the storm right now. You can stop the video right now and read that if you want to. And here's the Spanish version as well if you want to stop the video right now and read that. So really uncertain forecast with this tropical storm here. As you can see, the forecast before this, it was taking it straight into Florida here for its second landfall. Now it's really uncertain. Models are really divergent. Some take it straight down to the Yucatan here, and some of them take it towards Florida. Some of them take it, I think, as far west as south central Louisiana there. So really uncertain forecast with this. Here's a satellite imagery for the storm right now, and you can see it's starting to get better organized here over time. Really a nice convective bursts firing over the center of circulation here of this system. And radar from Key West and Cuba is indicating perhaps the storm trying to develop an eye-like feature here, at least on radar, by the looks of it. So it'd be interesting to see what the hurricane reconnaissance planes find in this storm when they fly into it again. I think the last plane that was supposed to go into it turned around, I believe. I think it turned around because the National Hurricane Center deemed that flight unnecessary, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think regardless, that plane turned around, so we're not going to get data until whenever the next reconnaissance plane gets into the system here. And then here's a look at water vapor imagery here, and it's quite the contrast here, I should say. We got all this moist, favorable air to the storm's east, and right over the center of this storm here, of course, and then to the west here, got really dry, stable air, which of course is not good at all for tropical cyclone development and intensification here. So really interesting picture you're seeing here. Just really interesting contrast between the two differences in the Gulf of Mexico. And then here's a look at subtropical storm Theta on infrared satellite imagery here that recently formed. Like I said, I think I forgot to put up the cone here for that storm, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly put the cone up for it here. It's forecast to peak as a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. As with this latest forecast cone, it's currently located at 28.8 degrees north, 40.3 degrees west. Maximum sustained moment winds at 50 miles per hour. Moving due east at 15 miles per hour. As a 3 in the morning GMT time advisory number 1 here. And you can see the current forecast track for Theta right there, and I apologize, I forgot to put that up beforehand here. And again, here's this infrared satellite imagery of the storm right now, a subtropical storm, but forecast to turn into a fully tropical system here within the next few hours as it progresses east with time. And like I said, forecast to peak as a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm at this time. Of course, I could easily change here, so just keep an eye on it. Fortunately, it poses absolutely no threat to the United States at this point. Poses a threat for probably the Azores or maybe extreme western parts of Europe here, maybe around Portugal at the worst here, I would say, for this system at this point. But of course, that can easily change. So just keep an eye on it for those of you guys that are near the system right now. And in Twin Basins, here's a look at the Western Pacific. Right now, we got Tropical Depression 24W, also known as ETA, that looks like it's nearing landfall there. Weakened down to a tropical depression here. And then we also got Tropical Storm 25W, also known as VAMCO. I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me in the comments below. So we got VAMCO, and it's forecast to make landfall over the Philippines near the same area where Super Typhoon Goni made landfall not too long ago, unfortunately, here. So the scars still remain for parts of the Philippines here, and really hope the system is a lot weaker than forecast here in terms of its peak intensity. And we also got Invest 92S over here in the South Indian that has a low chance of formation at this point in time. Here's a quick look, though, at Tropical Depression Etao. Right now, it looks like it's nearing landfall there in Vietnam. Probably going to make a landfall at its current intensity that it is right now, 30 knot or about 35 mile per hour tropical depression. And you can see the system right now. You can see why they called it a tropical depression. Really sheared system. Most of the convection is located to the west of the center. And I imagine parts of Vietnam are yet again experiencing flooding, rainfall, and heavy rain from this particular tropical depression here. And then here's a look at the strongest system at this point for at least Western Pacific terms here. Tropical Storm 25W, also known as VAMCO, currently has 35 knot winds, which is about 40 miles per hour, which of course makes it a tropical storm. And it is forecast to peak as a 90 knot typhoon here, nearer perhaps at landfall there over the Philippines. And I believe 90 knots is, I think, about 105 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about 105 miles per hour. So that would make it a moderate tropical, not tropical, that would make it a moderate Category 2 equivalent tropical cyclone here, near or at landfall perhaps there over the Philippines. So there's something for you guys to watch in, and also for you guys over in Vietnam to potentially watch it as a storm may head over there as maybe a strong tropical storm here. By the looks of it, looks like near November 15th, by the looks of it on this forecast cone. Here's satellite imagery of the storm right now, and you can see how it's currently organizing right now. Doing pretty well here. Has really good conditions ahead of it, unfortunately. Hence why the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is predicting this storm to peak as a Category 2 equivalent typhoon here near at landfall over the Philippines. And kind of a really textbook, classic intensifying tropical cyclone for the Western Pacific here. Unfortunately, so really hope this turns out a lot less intense than forecast here, a lot weaker, I should say, than forecast, because it's going to be heading in roughly the same general regions where Super Typhoon Goni made landfall not too long ago. Not even 2 weeks ago, I want to say here. So really unfortunate to sort of keep the Philippines in your thoughts here, and hopefully best case scenario plays out here and it's a lot weaker than forecast. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Key things to take away from this tropical update, at least for the Western Pacific. This isn't the Western Pacific you're looking at right now. This is the Atlantic. But I don't have a wide view of the Western Pacific. But in terms of the Western Pacific, ETA is forecast to make landfall over Vietnam as a tropical depression shortly. And then we also got Tropical Storm Vamco, which is forecast to perhaps make a Category 2 equivalent tropical cyclone landfall over the Philippines here, and again, roughly the same areas where Super Typhoon Goni made landfall not too long ago, not even 2 weeks ago. So just please keep an eye on that storm free over there in the Philippines and keep a close eye on it. And for those of you guys not in the Philippines, please just keep them in your thoughts. Hopefully, it turns out a lot weaker than forecast here, since certainly that part of the Philippines at least does not need a typhoon their way. At least the Atlantic wide here, subtropical storm Theta is absolutely no threat to the United States here. More likely a threat for, if anything, probably to the Azores here in terms of maybe a flooding threat or maybe increased surge threat, perhaps to coastal parts of the islands over there. We'll see about that, of course. And then Tropical Storm ETA and the Gulf of Mexico, please keep a close eye on it. Really uncertain forecast with it. I know you've heard me say that a lot with past systems this season, but unfortunately the same thing remains for this tropical storm. Again, really uncertain forecast in terms of intensity and in terms of forecast track here. Again, some models take it as far west as south central Louisiana, some take it as far east as Florida again, and some take it as far south as making landfall over the Yucatan here and weakening and dying inland over Mexico. So really, again, really uncertain forecast with this storm. And just please keep a really close eye on it. Keep an eye on the National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service for the latest information on this storm, as well as your local officials here. And if they tell you to evacuate ahead of the system, you do so. And again, really uncertain forecast with this system, so just please keep an eye on it. If you have any questions or comments, leave that in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability here. And all the links down that I use in this, all the links that I use in this tropical update are down in the description below if you want to check the sites that I use yourself here and get knowledge yourself firsthand, and just see, or just if you're curious to see what's currently going on the water of the tropics here, really good resources to use. So again, that's going to be about it for the tropical update here. Hope everybody has a great day and out wherever you guys are. Stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.